The router is pretty dang cool, but without the correct bits, it can be useless or at the very least, frustrating. Let's learn about the 3 types of router bits and my recommendations for each so you can have less tear out and nicer looking projects. I'm also going to show you a pretty mind-blowing tool. The first router bit we're going to be using is called a pattern bit, or a flush trim bit, or a flush cut bit. It's fun when things have multiple names that confuse people. Pattern bits are fantastic for transferring one pattern from one item to your piece of wood. Like I'm going to be doing here, I'll be transferring the shape of the charcuterie board template to this piece of Claro walnut wood, which is a stunning piece of wood if I do say so myself. If this video is about router bits, why am I using the jigsaw so much? Well, I need to cut really close to the line with the jigsaw before I can use my router to transfer the shape of the template to my wood. It's important that you use the right type of pattern bit, which we'll get into in a little bit, because it can make a difference. Now, if you wanted to and you got really good with the jigsaw, you can actually just use the jigsaw only for making a charcuterie board like this, but we're gonna come back with the router so it can be the exact shape of our template. I cut pretty close to the line. I measured various parts of the line, and I cut between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch from the line. The closer to the line you can get, the better, because that means the router bit doesn't have to take off very much material and it just doesn't have to work as hard. But the worst thing you could do would be to cut into the line that you drew, the line that you traced. You do not want the template to be bigger than your lumber. You always want the template to be smaller than your workpiece. There are 2 types of pattern bits, or flush cut bits, or flush trim bits. One with straight knives and one with spiral knives, and I'll use both on this project. The straight knives work fine, and they're a little cheaper, and for most things they'll work great, but on splintery woods like white oak, you can get some tear out, which can be frustrating. The spiral knives work great and leave a nicer finish overall, but they're a little more expensive, and I find, at least the ones I've used, it hasn't cut the wood quite as easily, so I have to go a little slower. You can use multiple passes if you want, and sometimes I do, but I found even though the cuts should be exactly the same, sometimes there's a little line I have to sand off afterwards. How these bits work is there is a bearing on the top or bottom of your router bit. You can buy them with it either on the top or the bottom, and this bearing rides on your template. Then the knives are the exact same diameter as that bearing, so it transfers the shape of the template to your workpiece. Here is some double-sided tape ASMR for your listening pleasure. That was nice. Now, in my experience, walnut is not a very splintery wood, so both of these bits would have worked fine, the straight knife or the spiral knives. But if you're using a wood that splinters easily, pine, oaks, cedar, purple heart, I would recommend the spiral knife if you can handle the higher price tag. The second type of router bit is an edge profile bit, and here I've been using a 1/4 inch roundover bit to round over the edges of this charcuterie board. Here's my 1/4 inch roundover. I think I'll sand it a little bit, but I do not mind this little lip here. You can definitely keep that if you want. I think that look is just fine. And I got a little bit of burning. I had the right speed setting on my router. I was going at a good tempo, but sometimes you're just going to get burning. But nothing a little sandpaper can't solve. You can sand off that burning and it'll be just fine. The other most popular edge profile bit is a chamfer bit, and that's what I'm using here to put a 45-degree chamfer on this block of wood. There are so many other profiles, including the very ugly Roman OG. No judgment if you use it, but I just don't want my projects to be the equivalent of a relative that needs to talk about politics and religion at Thanksgiving dinner. To take this project to the next level, I'm going to use the X-Tool P3 laser cutter to engrave a classy C on this board because the person I'm giving this to has a last name that starts with P. I'm just kidding, it starts with C. I couldn't resist a little letter humor. The P3 laser has an automated creation system. Basically, it has auto positioning, auto focusing, an auto lift base. It's automatic, which basically means it's very simple to use. Look at that grain pop. I have to say, when making a cutting board or a charcuterie board, my favorite part is putting the oil on it so I can see the grain come to life. The third and final type of router bit is called a straight cut bit. As we've talked about, the pattern bits have straight knives, but these bits are called straight cut bits. They can also have straight knives or spiral knives. A little confusing, I know, but basically the straight cut bits are pattern bits, but without the bearing. And to demonstrate these straight cut bits, I'm going to show you how to turn your project from a boring old rectangle into a perfect circle. No offense to any rectangles, it's one of my top 40 favorite shapes. First, you put your trim router into a plunge router base, then take off the clear base plate on your plunge base, and screw in the clear base plate that comes with this jig. Screw in the red piece in the center of your wood, adjust the jig to your desired diameter and put that on the red piece. Since I clamped my workpiece onto my workbench because safety first, I'm making sure that the clamps will not get in the way of the circle cutting jig. Every once in a while I'm smart. Then lock your plunge base into the jig and Robert's your uncle. A good rule of thumb in terms of how deep to go with your straight cut bits is only go half the depth of your router bit shank diameter. So here, since I'm using a straight cut bit that has a 1/4 inch shank, I'm only going 1/8 of an inch deep at a time. For this circle, I'm using a 3/4 inch straight cut bit with straight knives, and it worked well. Squares and rectangles are great with 90-degree edges, but there's something about making a project that is a perfect circle that just makes it look a little more advanced. And I'm all for making my skills look more advanced than they actually are. I really like this circle cutting jig from Miles Craft, and I've tried a few different types of jigs, and this one's my favorite. I did 2 passes with the circle cutting jig, and that is all I'm going to do. The more passes you do, the higher chance that something gets out of alignment and your circle is not quite perfect. So I'm gonna finish this circle by cutting close to the line with my jigsaw and then coming back with a pattern bit and finishing it off just like I did with the charcuterie board. I'll be using a top bearing pattern bit. I was trying hard to figure out what to make this circle of plywood into, and I decided on a sign, and not just any sign. I decided to focus on what brings me the most joy at this stage in my life. No, not my love of the 49ers or the latest season of Stranger Things. I decided to go with my role as a father. I am a dad of 2 beautiful girls, so this sign will reflect that. I have made letters for a sign using the router, so it is possible, but now I have a tool that makes it so much easier and faster. We'll get to the letters very soon, and I think you're really gonna like how this sign's going to look in the end. So be patient, hold your horses. To finish off this circle, I'm using a top-bearing compression pattern bit. That's a mouthful, I know. All that means is that the bit has a spiral pattern with the blades that pulls the sawdust down from the top and up from the bottom of your workpiece, so it leaves a really clean finish on both the top and bottom edge of your wood. Seeing somebody's face when they're talking is so out of style. And there we have it. We have a perfect circle. Now on the back, there is that hole from the screw, but normally when I'm making a circle, there's gonna be one front side and a back side, so this won't be noticeable. It's usually for a sign or something, so it's against the wall. You could plug this with some hardwood or a dowel or something, or even put some sort of design here on the back, but the front is really all that matters, and it's a really nice circle. It turned out really well. One thing you should know about the router is it creates a lot of dust, like a lot. You guessed it, I'm using the P3 laser to cut out the letters, and it automatically measures the thickness of my wood, so I don't have to do any thinking, which is my favorite type of thinking. I went ahead and checked, and I've been using their P2 laser for 16 months, and I really liked it, and so I was excited to have the opportunity to get this P3. And this laser is also really easy to use, and I am not a tech person like at all, so if I can use their software and their laser easily, literally anybody can. I'm a girl dad, so I came up with this really creative design that says Girl Dad. Crazy innovative, I know. I just used some CA glue, which I originally thought stood for California glue. Now I know it stands for Canada glue to attach the letters to the sign. And the stain I used was special walnut. I put on 3 coats to give it a nice dark look. But let's say you have a project that cannot be a circle. It's gonna have 90-degree corners, but you want to make those corners a little fancier. You want to add a little class. You can add a rounded corner profile with a jig like this Craig corner jig. A little secret, you don't have to buy this jig. You can make a corner profile yourself out of wood with some sanding. I just bought this to test it out and it works pretty good. I like to spice up my rectangles, so I did put the corner profile here, but I'm also putting a 1/4 inch round over on the front as well. Since this is a longer sign, I'm using the simple conveyor operation on my laser to cut out the letters. It's easy to install, has a preview function and one-click start, and it just works really well like everything else on this laser. The P3 is a big investment, but Xtool has a $500 trade-up program, so if you've owned any laser machine before, you can get a $500 discount voucher to use towards the P3. Since now you know the 3 different types of router bits, it's now time that you learn about the different accessories that make the router a lot more useful. I'll see you in this next video.